What the Jeff? It's a stakeout!
We're going to sit down with Jeff, editor-in-chief of The Modern Rogue, and honestly, this is one of my favorite interviews we've done. We really dive in and we really nerd out, and we learn a lot. I think you'll love this. Let's go.
A lot of people know me. If you've ever read a story about how Furbies were banned at the NSA, that was me. That was me. Like, if you've read that story, that was mine. So, I came up writing for local music blogs, got my thing going on crack.com, wrote for some magazines and interviewed famous musicians. And I got to talk to Creed Bratton once, which was a treat, by the way. But yeah, then eventually pivoted into the YouTube world, Modern Rogue, and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I've been writing professionally for a little bit.
All right, that's cool, man. I don't know. I'm a big music fan, so I want to pick your brain. I don't know, who was cool? Who was surprisingly cool? Who was surprisingly annoying?
Ooh, boy. Ooh, that's tough. And I don't want to dig a grave here, but so surprisingly, here, let me do this. Surprisingly, no, not surprisingly. That's a bad word. Remarkably intelligent was Les Claypool. The first when I got to talk to Les Claypool about music, it was it blew my mind, because that guy is a genius, basically. He's just absolutely crazy involved in the mechanics and he's very involved in what he's doing. It's not let's get these chords, let's get a right. He is crafting something spectacular, at all times. So Les Claypool was one of the highlight interviews. Most of the musicians that I interviewed, it was normal standard fare. You ask them about what they're doing and stuff like that. But Les Claypool was one that I still remember when he told me. He was like, "Man, you thought way more about this than I have." I'm trying to ask detailed questions, and he's responding in kind. But he was. He was I know my ego is going to show here, but I often fancy myself the smartest person in the room, right? I did not feel that on the phone call with Les at all. Yeah, no, that guy's a genius. Remarkably underwhelming was, dude, I hope I don't get myself into trouble, but I talked to Murph from Dinosaur Jr., and it was just it was straight up. It was straight like I would ask a question, right, anticipating a really, really thoughtful response, and I'd get 5 words, something like that. He'd be like, "Yeah, well, blah," and I'm like, "Well, oh, okay, great. So next question, this," and he's, "Well, blah blah blah." Right. And so it was, and so you do have that on the spectrum of interviewing these people. And I don't know with Murph, I might have been his 10th interview of the day. Who knows? Right. But it's always a mix. Dweezil Zappa was a great interview. I'm pretty sure the second time we talked, he just gave me his home phone number, and I listened to him interact with his kids and his wife, and he's washing dishes while we were talking, and it was just that kind of vibe. So it's been a mix, and it's been here and there. But the most important thing I've taken away from my years as a music journalist was dude, these are all just people like the rest of us, just doing their stuff.
Yeah, I think that's some of the musicians that I've met over the years. They're just all over. They're just normal people. Some people like to really get into the process, and they're not much of thinkers. They're more doers. I can kind of see that.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I suppose it could have been a lot worse. I remember, I didn't even watch football, but a little while ago, I heard about some guy named Russell Westbrook, who, whenever he gets asked a question out in public by journalists or whatever, he always just his response every single time is just next question. How are you doing today? Next question. How you feel about the game? Next question. You think you could have done better? Next question.
Right.
That dude doesn't give a single solitary fuck about what anybody thinks, and I appreciate that.
Right.
I also remember you having a lot of good things to say about Jack White.
Oh, yeah. So true story. I've been a big fan of Jack White. When I wanted to do I've been in many bands over the years, right? But when I really wanted to do like my own shit, I didn't do my own shit. Instead, tried to rip off from Jack White. So I wanted to do a two-piece, rock blues outfit, right? And so I did that. I did actually get to see him perform one time in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which was cool as shit. But true story. So I'm involved with the Modern Rogue puzzle box things like very intensely, and so on our last one, we had we were part of the puzzle box experience was a cassette tape that you find inside. Right. And so we had to, I don't know if you guys know this, but not a lot of people do actual cassette tape like reproduction and stuff like that nowadays. There's like one company. There's one company who does it all, and the other guy that I was working with on the story for the latest puzzle box that we did was reaching out to that company that did this, and in the moment that God, I swear to God, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here. But uh, he was the guy that I was working with was talking to the head of the cassette tape reproduction company down there, and they were actually being solicited by Jack White to do vinyl pressings. Like they're like, dude, you've got a great ass studio. Like you like, can we do this? And coincidentally, when my friend called, Jack White happened to be in the office with him at the time, and so he took the call, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, so I was telling Jack White here about your puzzle box project, and he thinks it sounds pretty fucking cool." And I was like, "What? What?" I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, that sounds really great." He's like, he's just in the background talking over. I'm like, "What? What?" Like that's a thing. Yeah. So yeah, Jack White's a cool cat. I've never met him personally, but he's yeah. When I think about my
You've
brain and how creative I want to be, it goes in that direction, right?
yeah, yeah, you've always made him sound like a really chill guy.
Mm.
Mm.
I'm struggling to think what is the concept of today's episode. What do we want to ask? What do we want to dig into today?
Well, I mean, we could talk about writing overall, what it means to write professionally, what that looks like. How I tell people when they are like, "Hey, how do I be a writer?" I'm like, "Find a different job."
Yeah,
Like, right? Like,
yeah,
don't do it. Don't do
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
yeah. When I was thinking about this interview specifically, I was thinking about like your process when it comes to writing, in general. Is there anything unique that you do that others should know about, or like
Yeah.
what's your general process, and what would you do specifically to help maintain the overall quality in a project?
Right. So the best advice that I had, and I don't have the quote directly in front of me right now. I should, but there's a Kurt Vonnegut quote. Kurt Vonnegut, one of my favorite authors. But he put it in terms of don't. What was it? It was basically like a don't try to make love to the world. Right. If you open up the window and you try to make everybody happy, you're gonna fail. And so what I have done historically is, I mean, it kind of, if you're familiar with content strategy, that's kind of where it's based, where you develop a single person that you're writing for, the one person that you want to reach, and you write for them. You don't try to broaden it. You write for like what I do. If I'm writing something that I really care about, it's not like marketing material or anything like that. It's, well, even if it is marketing material, it's you go through this process of developing who's the one person that I'm reaching. That one person is supposed to represent, hundreds or thousands or millions or whatever, but you really want to hone in on, okay, who's this hypothetical person? Who's this hypothetical person? Like, I'm going to create a John Smith who is this age, and he's interested in this, and he does this, and this is where he works, and this is his education. And so you really, just write for John. John Smith,
Yeah.
and that's what you do. And so I think that a lot of people, when they're trying to figure out or trying to get their writing chops, they're trying to figure out how to appeal to the masses, and that's literally the opposite of what you need to do. You really need to focus on, okay, who's that one person, the person who wants to read my shit, who is that person, and then write for them, the hypothetical imaginary person, like write for that person.
All right.
Yeah.
I hear that
Yeah, you're
advice a lot. I actually have a question, like, because I would like to do that. I just don't know how to either manifest that person on paper or find it and then put it down to write to that. How do you find that person?
Literally, that is also a writing process. You have to sit down and make mistakes and create that person. You're literally creating a person on paper, like you said. That's what you do. That's what I did when I went to, or I did a course in content strategy for Northwestern, and that was literally one of our projects. Um, uh, creating a fictional person, that by itself takes practice. Like, you have to work on that. But once you do that, and once you go through that process, it starts to open up things in your mind as far as future writing projects go. Like, you can almost envision this person without having to write it down. Like I don't do that process every time. Like, every time I wrote an article for Cracked or Modern Rogue or whatever, like I didn't you know, go through the process of writing, okay, who's this for every time. But for each outlet that I wrote for, be it a music journalism piece, a Crack piece, a Modern Rogue piece, I always had that person in my head. But to your point, that's really like, it's work. It's work. Like, you just have to sit down with pen and paper or keyboard and monitor and just create that person.
Yeah, that reminded me of, like, there's an interview that Mr. Rogers did back in the day, and he described how whenever he was, recording his show, that he didn't think about, the masses. He acted as though he were speaking directly towards a kid,
Yes.
and that, it's a great idea. It makes it a lot more
It's
personal.
and you will if you look back on some of the great authors of our time, you can probably find quotes that say that very, very exact thing.
Hmm.
It's don't, again, as Vonnegut put it, don't open up the window and try to make love to the world. Don't. Right? Like, just focus on that one, again, fictional person that you've created, but that's the one person that you're writing for. I mean, you can even that's why a lot of creative people have muses, right? Because that's who they're doing the thing for. And so the same thing is true of writing, but you just create, if you don't have a personal muse, right? You create one.
And that's a whole other can of worms in itself. Like, how do you even begin to go about, like, creating that muse? Like, personally, I would think you would have to reflect on things that, like, matter a lot to you specifically, or towards, like, like the culture of the group that you're writing for.
Sure. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah, and that's another important part about being a writer and trying to do this sort of thing professionally. It's you do have to, not only take into consider the audience that you're writing for. And so sometimes it's, again, like, it shouldn't be a secret, I wrote very differently for Crack than I did for music journalism. Those are two different two different realms, right? And so, but within each of those realms, within, or with Cracked, with the magazines that I wrote for, and um, uh, the musicians, it's those are two different things. But in each of those instances, you're still developing a, hey, I'm writing for somebody who wants to see bands like Cage the Elephant. They want to see Flogging Molly. They want to see, who are these 20 somethings that I'm writing for? Well, I created a John Smith because you can create that person and figure out what they want, what they crave, right? And so you can do that, but then pivot over to Cracked, which is fact-based comedy with dick jokes, and that's a different audience, right? So it's it is knowing your audience, but it is going through the process, and it is a process to create that who am I writing for.
Yeah, and I suppose it helps a lot that you went to a lot of like live shows, so you had a general feel for the people that would be interested.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Yep. Yeah, and that is important too, to interact with your audience. I mean, you're not going to know what they want unless you ask them, like seriously.
Of course, yeah, you got to listen.
Yeah,
Like, it's the most important thing you can do. This isn't a one-way street. It is basically a conversation.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to continue it if they don't feel like if you're not listening. So,
correct.
which is really cool.
I'm taking down notes. I'm
sure you'll be taking down a lot more if we start talking about how to write, specific songs and stuff.
I don't know. I just love like all this. Like I want to dig in on. I consider myself kind of a student. I guess I just want to like learn and take notes from anyone and everyone. So I'm like,
Sure.
oh, this is
Well-
perfect. Like really to pick your brain and just get into like more nuance, because I feel like when you watch interviews online, a lot of times you don't really get to be like dive into the nuance you want, and I'm just like, oh, this is perfect, because now I get to poke questions and be like this, that, and I'm taking this down.
Now I have this asshole pinned, and I can ask him whatever the fuck I want.
Yes.
Well, you're welcome, Flex.
But that is too. I mean, it's cool that you're taking notes, but it's a weird thing to like a lot of times, like people are like, oh my God, you're a writer, right? But what does that really mean? What does that really mean? Because I'm here to tell you, I can't write a romance novel. I can't do it. Like I'm I can't write a. No, I probably could write a 50 Shades of Grey now that I think about it, but it's being a writer is a lot of things. It's I mean, and I've done everything from stuff for marketing agencies to as alternate reality games. I've done a lot of things, from journalism to comedy dick jokes to everything. But it really does depend. Like if somebody came up to me and was like, "Hey man, I really would like to write a romance novel. Do you have any advice?" No, I don't. Like a writer is not a writer is not a writer.
Yeah, there's tons of different genres for a reason. Like if you're not thoughtful enough to think of all the little autistic level details, you might not excel in like sci-fi or fantasy as well as
Correct.
If you're more flowery or stylish with your descriptions as something like a romance novel or a thriller. Like there's a lot of nuance to everything. If you can find a niche that you're like comfortable with, then stick with that. As the world's most interesting man used to say, find out what you're not good at and then don't do that.
Yeah, that's been my process of like trying to discover myself the past years, trying to figure out what I don't like. And like I said earlier, I struggle to figure out like audience and understand audience in a real deep way, I guess. And I don't know, I love writing because I feel like stories are at the heart of most anything good. Because when you look at like even artists and designers, like the best ones are telling a story with their work.
For sure.
Humans like stories. That's the whole thing, and that's really where I'm gonna say we writers, but that's where we thrive. It's knowing that people like stories. Humans like stories. Why do you think late night shows are popular? Because they give context and story. That's literally why they exist and as popular as they are, because it's humans want story. They want relatability. They want, and again, that goes back to creating the person that you want to write for. I guarantee you, any TV show, any anything in the creative space is geared towards one person, a fictional person, but it's 100% geared towards that person.
And even if it is a fictional person, is something we can, find some sort of similarity to, or something to empathize with.
That's
Like,
correct.
yeah. And what's interesting about story specifically is like it's definitely one of like the oldest art forms that has consistently existed throughout pretty much all of human history. Like if you went 10,000 years ago in the future, you'd still find people swapping stories over a fire pit. Like,
Oh, dude, if
it's
the world goes to fucking pot, like
yeah.
I'm gonna be fine because I can tell a good story. I'm gonna be the bard. I'm gonna be the bard.
Yep.
I'm
It's
gonna be
gonna
the
have
bard.
yep. You have the acoustic guitar to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
I definitely will. Definitely will.
I'm gonna write the story of me being like the cool ass legend that brought down America, and then that'll be known for eons now.
Yeah. Can you imagine people like extrapolating from little tidbits of information left over at the end of time?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be so bad.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's
Like
stored on floppy disks.
like we archaeology today, we kind of have like a halfway decent idea of what shit was like back then. But imagine people finding like just the fan fiction section of the internet and being like, "What the fuck did you guys do?
You're right. Somebody
Why
found a
is there
hard drive.
so much porn?"
Somebody found a hard drive and it was only 4chan.
It's the last remaining remnant from this era.
I know that there's like data hoarders that'll like stockpile all of the Lego directions
Oh yeah.
or instructions for little kids and shit. Like, what the hell happened? No wonder they fell apart. They just
They're they were worried about Legos.
well, no. So it's like, how are you going to build this? How are you going to build a whole society on that? They come right apart. There's nothing. You guys didn't have super glue. Nothing.
You guys got a genome right here, but you went with the Legos. That's fine.
Yeah,
That's
that's how we
cool.
build all our
Oh
societies.
man.
There are probably
It's
people out there that they do trade in Legos. They buy Legos, sell it 2 years later at like a massive markup.
Oh yeah.
To some people, it is a currency. It is their life. They've literally
Yeah.
built their riches on Legos.
Yeah.
I mean, to be go ahead.
Yeah, there's scalpers pretty much everywhere in it. But
Yeah, I mean, anything has as much value as humans assign to it, right? So,
Hmm.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. But
oh yeah, like there are people that'll spend fucking $10,000 on a pair of shoes. Like, what the fuck?
right, right.
All right.
Like that's just silly to me.
I want to ask about like what your writing process looks like.
It depends on what I'm writing. So, it depends on if I'm writing, a puzzle or if I'm writing a fact-based comedy article, right? So those are different processes. On the, let's say we're doing a research-based thing, I have to come up with a premise that nobody's ever come up with before, right? And so like a listicle format, right? So the 5 blah 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 that whatever. So that is a research-based article, and so I develop a premise. So normally, like with those sorts of things, what I do is I'll see a cool news story or science fact or something, and I'm like, wait, are there other things that are adjacent to this, right? And then so I just go into research mode, and it's just research until I get the what I want. And then from there, it's, you sprinkle in, boner jokes and go from there. From a journalism standpoint, well, also, again, it's research. If I'm interviewing a famous musician, I don't want to ask Dweezil Zappa, for example, who his influences are. Right, that's a dumb joke. That's a dumb question. So there's a lot of research involved in those sorts of things. But if I'm writing, say, a puzzle, and I'm, bringing elements of cryptography and steganography and riddles and these sorts of things, that's a different mind frame that you have to get into. I don't know if this is cool to say on your chat, but when I go into the more creative things, it's like to have a little bit of smoky smoke, and then we'll get into that because it's like the brain needs to go into areas that it normally doesn't if you're trying to challenge somebody's intelligence. You know what I mean? This isn't just this is information. This is I'm gonna fuck with you. So uh, I don't encourage anybody to ingest intoxicants while they're pursuing their creative process. But
It helps.
for me, it's how. And again, it's not it's not. I'm trying to get all stoned out. It's just, can I unlock that portion of my brain that I normally don't have access to? So
I hear you. I say, like, there was one time I finally had the opportunity to try absinthe, actual absinthe,
mhm, mhm.
and I wound up like in the alley next to the bar trying to write music on my forearm. It was a wild time because I was afraid to drive, so I
Right.
was
So
just
just go write music on your arm. That's fine.
yeah.
I think that's a
Yeah,
process everywhere. I remember like someone being like, the elevators at Cartoon Network just smell like marijuana all the time, and I'm like, cool.
yeah.
And again, I'm not, dude. I want to be clear. I'm not promoting, intoxication at any level. But um, for me personally, sometimes if I'm really trying to like get into, and so if I'm doing like journalism, like, dude, if I'm going to be on a call with Les Claypool, for instance, or Melissa Etheridge, Jesus Christ, like I talked to Melissa Etheridge right after Marriage for Everybody was legalized, and that was a fucking intense conversation. Um, and it was great, and I wanted to be as sober as hell for that. Um, because dude, it was amazing. It was amazing. But uh, uh, yeah, yeah, I mean, everybody has their processes. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, no, I
Everybody has their everybody will do what they do to achieve that state wherein they can create, right?
yeah. There's
Area.
people that will like meditate for hours to get into that good headspace, and I'm just like, sounds like a lot of work.
It is. It is a lot of work.
Yeah,
It really
so
is, and that's the part that when people are like, "Oh my God, like you're a writer and you do this and you do that and blah blah blah," and they're just like, "Well, how do I get into that?" And I'm like, "Hey, what are you writing right now?" And they're like, and I'm like, "Okay, that's the secret is just do it." Right? Like
right.
it's not actually a secret. It's just write. Just write. Like that's there is no secret. Dude, I was a shitty writer. I was a shitty writer a decade and a half ago, and then I got better, right?
Yeah,
That's just how it goes. I mean, you can not suck by just practicing. And so that's when people are like, again, like I said at the beginning of this, like when people are like, "Hey, how can I be a writer?" I'm like, "Well, don't, for one, like stop, stop, don't do it." But also, if you really want to be a writer, start writing right now. Like even if it's for yourself, like I keep a notepad by my bed, and like I'll wake up from fucking crazy streamer or fever dreams, and just like write what I saw, like because who knows.
Yeah,
So if you want to be a writer, you have to enjoy the process, because the process is messy. It's very messy, um, and sometimes kind of fucked up. But
yeah.
um, you know, I mean,
I think Proc, you know this. I say this all the time. I'm just like, just do it, because you're always wanting to work on a movie, and I'm just like, well, make a movie this weekend. Go out and make it. And I love hearing like, that's the one thing people just don't get is you have to be okay, sucking for a little while, and then you get better, and you gotta challenge yourself. A lot of people want to compare themselves to like, whoever the top guy is in that area, and be like, I'll never be that good. But I'm just like, do something, then the next week do it better, and I'm just like, that's how you get there. I bet
it's
he does. Like, the top guy, I bet he doesn't compare himself to like everyone around him. He compares himself to where he was a year ago.
100%. 100%. You are 100% correct. Yeah, it's the best advice. This is a quote that I think I stole from Jason Pargin, former executive editor of Cracked, best-selling New York Times author. But he's like, the only thing worse than doing something poorly is not doing it at all.
For sure.
I'm right.
That is the advice. When people are like, well, and like I moved down to Texas to work with Modern Rogue and whatnot,
Yeah.
and it's just like, well, what's the only thing worse than doing something in a shitty way? It's not doing it. And
Yeah.
so you just have to keep that mindset, like at the forefront,
Yeah,
and
100%.
just do.
Yeah. Like I can't tell you how many times I've heard stories about people like on their deathbed and talking about their regrets. They never regret failing. They regret all the
No.
shit they didn't do
Mhm.
because they were afraid
Mhm.
or uncertain or whatever. Like hell, Brian knows that very well, and
Mhm.
he
Yep.
I distinctly remember hearing him saying like like if you ever have a project in mind, you're gonna have 1,000 little voices in your head giving you all the best reasons in the world why you shouldn't do it,
Mhm.
and you should ignore all of them.
Yep.
And
Because again, the only thing worse than doing something poorly is not doing it at all. That is something that
100%.
I live by. It's dude, like seriously, I look back before I moved to Texas. I ditched all it. Like I had several totes of magazines that I had written in, and it was like I was keeping them for keepsakes, right? It's like, oh my god, I interviewed Brad from KG Elephant in this one. I interviewed Dweezil in this one. I interviewed, blah blah blah, and it was just like I wanted to keep these, and but I was moving to Texas, and it's just like, well, it's either the tote of magazines or the dog. So the dog won. So 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 but when I was looking through those because I was having nostalgia moments, right, where it's just like, fuck, I'm really gonna get rid of all these magazines that I've written for, and but I started looking through them, and I was like, oh my god, I was terrible. Oh my god, did people actually read this? What the hell, dude? Oh my god, I suck so bad. And so, but that's just a part of the process. So anybody listening who's like, hey, how can I write for a living? Well, I like the oatmeals, the webcomic, the oatmeals example. Start drinking, hate yourself, which you probably already do, and then just keep doing those things, and then eventually you'll be a writer. So,
I was gonna say, like that was the Harlan Ellison strat for sure, and that guy used to write entire books in like a night.
yeah. But no, seriously, it's just keep honing your craft. If you want to be a writer and you're not writing, start. That's step one. Like again, that's the confused looks I get when people are like, dude, how do you do this? And it's like, what are you writing? And they're like, and I'm like, okay. Start writing. Like right now. Write a journal. Like just start writing. That's the whole trick, quote unquote.
Yeah, like 90% of the stuff I've written down is never going to see the light of day, but
No.
it's good practice just to go through the process of thinking about it and getting down kind of a routine and a feel for everything in general. Like we were talking like last time I think like it doesn't matter if if nobody ever sees any of this, it's fine as long as you put in the work and are proud of what you've done, and that's all that matters. And that was a little tangent.
No, but that's 100% right. Again, like, dude, everybody starts somewhere. I started with a okay. So the how I got started writing professionally was there was a local music blog in Kalamazoo, Michigan. It's called Kalamazoo Noise. That's where I got started. They were looking for writers, and when a lot of, and so we're going back to the days of MySpace. You guys remember MySpace? Eh?
Yep, that was where I.
So I used to wax poetic there, and people are like, "Fuck, man! Like you're really, really good at writing. Like I don't understand why you don't do this. Like why don't you do this?" And I'm like, I don't know either. And then so a local music blog was like, "Hey, we're looking for writers. It's not paying, but you can get into shows and free beer and whatnot." And I'm like, great. I'm like, perfect. And so I got to go to a lot of concerts. I got to, drink free beer. I got to, meet musicians, local ones starting out, but eventually that parlayed into, oh, I know this guy's kind of a dick, but like he also knows what he's doing. And so again, you just go through the process. You just go through the process, and yeah, there is no secret. There is no shortcuts. There, the famous like athletes and shit, like that didn't happen overnight. It's because they fucking worked like all day, every day. Like, and it's the same thing for writers, dude. It really is. It's like if you want to be a writer, then you need to fucking write.
Well, you say that, but from what I understand of sports people, like we have a guy watching the Mets series right now who believes that if he actually watches it like directly, that they're going to lose.
Okay,
If he's
well,
not, if he's not holding his special hat, they're going to lose.
There is.
okay, well that guy's an idiot.
Hold on. Let's
I
send that.
mean,
Let's
We're gonna
clip
clip
that and
that.
send that to him.
yeah. So armchair coaching is a great thing, dude, and it applies to writing too. It's again like we were talking about earlier. It's dude, it's very easy to criticize somebody if you don't make anything yourself.
Oh
It's
yeah,
very, very easy.
for
I
sure.
could do it all day long, dude. It's like, oh, dude, it's also a weird thing too. Like, this is probably only a personal experience, unless any other writers are in here on chat. But like, I've offered to like just help people. It's just like, dude, I write professional. Like, this is what I do for a living, right? So like,
Yeah,
I will definitely help you. And like, people get offended, and they're like, "What, you think I can't write?" Well, everybody thinks they can write, right? So,
yeah,
so it's like, yeah, but dude, like, I get paid to do this. Like,
yeah,
I
right.
I, I can help you, and they're like, oh, it's like, dude, come on, come on.
Yeah, everybody likes to take shit personally.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
think there's like this. I don't know. I've witnessed stuff like that too, where it's just like people get so defensive over, and maybe it's because it's what they make, so they put their heart and soul into it. So, but it's so hard. Like I have friends who struggle with the thought of like I have one or two viewers, and I'm like, okay, well, it's what you're doing is a little bit, not what Twitch chat is here for,
mm,
and but keep doing and keep like trying to improve, and they don't see the want or need to improve, and I'm just like, okay, well, stop writing Twitter posts about how nobody watches you. I'm just like, if you're not going to put in the steps to actually like improve, why would anyone want to engage with you? And that's the hardest thing that I've been trying to figure out is like, how do I like get the attention of the audience and the people that I want to speak to? Like, I have a certain kind of viewer in mind. I want to speak to creative people, and like, how do I get myself in front of them? I guess, like, what do you do to get
Okay.
yourself out in front of that audience or
I will.
whatever?
Step one is to do what I said initially, and create that person that you want to speak to.
Taking notes.
Literally, that's the whole thing. Again, my time with Modern Row, which has been what 2018, what 6 years now.
yeah.
Uh, that is a conversation that we've had many times. It's like, who are we
Mm,
reaching? Okay, so it's this age segment, largely male. Like you,
yeah.
you you have to create that person. You have to create that person. Like that's the whole Like that, and that's literally just step one. That's just step one.
And then you gotta, start that conversation and figure out how to engage with them.
Correct.
Like with the modern rogue, like that's aiming for like somebody who's like a guy in their ranging from
25 to
like
45. 25 to
yeah,
45. Yep.
I would
Yep.
I would even put it like 15 to 45, which is
Mm,
a lot of guys like who are easily excitable, who like trying new and ridiculous things, who like to brush up on
I don't
just
know.
like
I think
crazy like
15 is like iPad kids. Like
well, it is now.
right. Right.
it's crazy. You saw Pirate Software talking about like how these kids now they just don't understand a screen if it isn't a touch screen, and it's scary
So
knowing the
fucking
generation coming up
sad.
right now.
Like not too long ago, I heard some statistic about kids. Like 50% of them apparently have never seen like a video game controller.
Yeah,
Fuck off.
It's all touch screens to them. They're like, come on, I'm not that old. What the fuck?
we are
Dude,
that old.
you guys can both eat shit. I'm way older than you both.
Oh yeah, it's only gonna get worse.
It does get worse. Like a lot of people are like horrified by the fact that I sit behind a desktop computer. Like I have a desktop at my knees, like right now, and people are like, what? Why do you?" And it's like, well, because I want to do things, right?
Yeah. God, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I had somebody refer to me as middle aged, and I'm like, bro, I am 35.
Dude, I'm way beyond middle age.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck did you just say to me?
They're like, sorry, mister.
Sorry, sir. Right, right. So flex.
Yes.
I'm your okay. You can ask me anything you want. Go on. You're taking notes. What else do you want to ask me? Go on.
Man, I struggle with like being clickbaity and like because I watched this like interesting video from maybe it's not Mark Rober, but it's like one of those YouTubey science guys, and he was talking about like
Yeah. Could have been Rober. Sure.
clickbait, dupe shoot kind of stuff, and I was like, man, I struggle to find a good balance between like clickbait and like informative.
So, in my experience, and so, writing through the heyday and the downfall of Cracked, what I learned, and also working with Modern Rogue and doing SEO and keyword research on what works. Titling for one is you need to spoil the ending literally up front. Like it's people's the internet is a thing that has evolved in a certain way, right? And so if you don't give people the payoff up front, they're going to click away, right? And so so you really need to like literally that's what we started doing at Cracked, and what I did at Modern Rogue with our editorial pieces was basically just tell everybody what they're like. It's not clickbaity. Don't be like, hey, if you read to the end, then there's going to be a payoff, right? Don't title it that way. You title it in a way that it's like, nope, this is what you're getting. Like literally, this is what you're getting, and so people expect that. Internet consumers of today, that's what they expect. Is you tell them what they're getting right up front. There's no shortcut to that. There's they're going to click away otherwise, right?
Yeah.
So,
Like, as oversaturated as like the whole fucking internet is, like you
correct.
can't
And go ahead.
you can't like put a lure out and hope that
No.
some fish is gonna come along. Like you need to have like a fucking foghorn going off to get people's attention.
Yeah, there's a reason, and so this is a thing, and dude, I'm not gonna comment on the current Mr. Beast shit, but
Yeah.
what I've always done in all of my jobs on the internet is you look at the biggest names. Look at the biggest names, right?
Hmm.
So in YouTube, it's Mr. Beast. In ecom, it's Amazon. And so you go down this line, and it's like, okay, what are they? What are they doing? What
Hmm.
are they doing? And how can I emulate that on my budget? And so that's the key, because there's a reason, and people don't like to admit it. People don't like to admit it, but there's a fucking reason, dude. There's a reason that Mr. Beast, again, I don't like his content, but dude's got something. Dude's got something. And I know, like just for instance, one of the things is when a writer pitches an idea to Jimmy, um, uh, uh, if it doesn't come with a thumbnail concept, no. Like the thumbnail needs to be, and like people don't even pay attention to thumbnails, and it's weird because that's what gets people to click, right? So
Yeah.
if you really want to exist in this creative writing, world, you just need to figure out what the people, who are the people that are successful.
Yeah. No,
Do what
I
they're doing. Do what they're doing within your means.
I love that. One of my first like early good videos that took off was like this kind of Halloween list I put together. But one of the things I did at the time, I don't tell a lot of people I did, but I took like a Nexpo video, which he does horror stuff, and I put it on the same timeline as mine. And I'm like looking at my video, I'm looking at his, I'm like, all right, what do I have to do to get my Halloween video to feel like a Nexpo video? So I'm like going through and dissecting, and I'm got them one by one, and I'm just kind of looking at the cuts, looking at how he transitions, and like a lot of that kind of stuff to kind of emulate the style. But I'm in a completely different niche. I talk about like weeb stuff on the internet, but I wanted it to
Mm.
feel like that Nexpo video, and it was one of my first like good videos that I was like, oh, a lot of views, a lot of traction, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's also crazy too, because you never know what's gonna take off on the internet. Like on my personal YouTube channel, I just posted a video of a deer who
Mm.
like was friendly with humans and would just come up and let me pet her and shit like that, and it got like 100K views. Like stupid. Like it's just like a minute video, and it's just like, oh hey, I'm petting this deer, and it's like it just went off, and so you can't understand what the algorithms are going to do, right? So YouTube decided to reward me for that one at that point. But I mean, that's not always the case, and so my advice to people is always just stay true to creating content that you want. Again, dude, create the person that you want to write for, and just do that. And over time, and it takes a long time, dude. I mean, how long did it take Modern Rogue to take off?
Oh god.
Years,
Yeah.
years,
Yeah, you
years.
guys. Yeah, you guys like established in.
I mean, the first video is like 2018, I think, or
Yeah.
like or 2017, 28,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. And then it just exploded. But the reason for it was because Brian had a very specific, person in mind. I was not part of that process because I was just writing articles at the time. But he really honed in on, okay, we got this guy, right, that we're gonna market to, and we're gonna do this, and dude, I mean, it turned into a TV show and shit. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, and he did have a lot of experience with you know with fucking scam school and hacking the system. He had a lot of experience and was able to use that to inform his decisions moving forward with the modern rogue.
Yep.
But yeah, he did the groundwork, and it was, I don't know why my brain's not working right now.
No, it's fine. What you said was groundwork, and work is the operative word. That's what he did. He did the work, and that's what you have to do if you're gonna pursue any creative passion, and try to make a living off it in any sense of the word. You have to really just work. Like it's funny, sometimes people are like, oh, you write for a living. It's like, yeah, I think I spend more time looking for work than I do actual work, right? So like
Makes sense.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Oh,
On the-
also Hellfire in the chat. I'm sorry, I'm gonna take a sidebar and say hi to Hellfire here.
Hey,
Knox 1977. Yeah,
Yo, there's.
welcome in.
good friend, good friend.
Yeah. So
I'm
one of
really.
the
I'm just like absorbing all of this right now, and I'm just like, man.
Dude,
Let me think. Really, I want to have. I want to ask a question because I don't want to.
go on.
3 hours from now, be like, what's
Go on.
come up with an idea? I don't know. I'm thinking. I'm just like, man.
Go on.
I have you here. I need to ask something that I won't regret not asking, but I can't think of one right now.
Oh
But
my God, you're
but I know
preparing.
3
You're
hours from now.
preparing.
I know 3 hours from now, I'm just gonna be like, I should have asked that.
No, well, dude, I think I can summarize this by saying what I said at the beginning of the show, wherein find a different career, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it. It sucks. It's yeah. It's a starving artist community, right? So I mean, you can technically make a living at it, but unless you win the lotto, like, yeah, it's
yeah, so,
you know what? When people ask me like, "Oh my God, how do you do that?" I glorify it. I'm like, "Oh my God, it's so great. It's so great. I get to have my own schedule and I get to do this and that, the other thing." And it's like, you know, in the meantime, in reality, it's shit. Like
Yeah.
like it's fucked. It's fucked.
Yeah.
Like it's like, when's my next paycheck coming? Right. So don't do this if you're listening. Don't do this.
now you're just trying to weed out the competition.
Okay, bitch.
Like I said,
But
I think writing is one of the most like basic universal skills that I think everyone should learn to do it regardless of what career you're in, because I think any like whether you're doing art or whether you're doing marketing or like just basic stuff, like the ability to take an idea and like a concept and put it in a story is like really important.
for sure.
And
I agree.
I think we've lost that. Like we've been slowly losing that, and we may
Well,
even lose it even further with like AI kind of coming in and
Oh,
stealing
yeah.
all this.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. So I want to talk about AI for a minute.
All right,
Okay.
all right, I'm down.
So uh, I don't have an alt. I don't know what that means. Anyway, sorry, I was looking at chat. Anyway,
Oh, there's two Noxes.
Yeah, and I thought it was the first one's alt account when the second one popped in.
oh yeah,
Alternative?
no.
No.
The on my screen she's yellow, but
No worries.
1977 is my buddy. Anyway,
Messing
what were
around.
we talking about?
AI.
Yes.
AI. So it may not come as a surprise, but it is hard for writers to find work nowadays because of AI. So
Yeah.
I have worked for marketing agencies that I don't actually write. I develop prompts for AI to produce content, and I don't like that.
Okay.
I don't like that at all because it's not. And again, this might just be the journalism part of me, but it's still it's like, dude, that's not original content. That's not original content. Come on. Uh, but it is really really hard for writers to find work nowadays because people are looking for not writers but for chat GPT, uh, uh, what's the Google one, Gemini, um, prompters,
Yeah. Which is
which don't produce actual content. They
Mm.
they get fucking the content from the web, and God, it's so fucked, man.
Yeah, I hear you. But now, if there are any people still left in that particular niche, they're the ones who actually have a passion for it. So,
True.
Yeah.
True.
some small benefit.
I'm kind of worried like AI is going to take my job over because it's not there yet, but I can see it getting really close. And I feel like my office has put an insane amount of workload. They have doubled our workload from last year. tripled it from the year before, and I'm just like, I have to use AI, or I'm going
That's
to be out of a
fucking
job.
nuts. Yeah, it's
And
absolutely insane, man.
and I think they're doing it to try to be like, you're not meeting the deadlines, but I'm just like, you have given me triple the amount of assignments as you did 2 years ago. Like, that's insane, and you've not tripled my pay. I'll tell you that much. We had we talked about this. We had to fight to get our bonuses this year.
Yeah, I remember that.
And yeah, again, just based on the workload, I'm like, we don't deserve a bonus. We deserve like a crazy, insane pay increase.
For sure.
I'm actually like, and they complain too about like a 3% increase this year. And it's just like, you son of a bitch. Man, it's frustrating right now. Like I said, I have to jump into AI to help me kind of fill in the cracks, because when you have like 8 deadlines in a day and you're just like, that's unachievable. That's like for like a creative person, I can't hit all those marks. I have to have AI sketch it out for me because I don't have the time to research and think up an idea. I'm like, AI, give me 10 social media posts today, and then I'll pick the best 2 or 3 and bang those out real
Dude,
fast and send it.
and you are 100% correct. It's fucked. It's fucked. It's and I'm sorry. I'm going to take this personally, but dude, when somebody's like, I know you're a writer, but can you write chat GPT prompts? It's like, okay. So you don't actually respect the work that I do, right? Dude, come on. My words have been read by tens of millions of people. You really don't try. No, we have deadlines. Oh, okay. All right.
God, these give me flashbacks to like one of the last times I actually talked to like some business person about art. And like, have you heard about NFTs? And like, you could fuck right
I have. Have you heard about douchebags? Yes.
Oh yeah, that's the upcoming apocalypse. I don't know how bad it's gonna get. I know every day it gets like a fraction of a hair better. You can still kind of see in like art stuff all the mistakes. One of the bad things lately in coding is like, yeah, it's not made coding faster. They still have to error check it, so it's just 40% more errors now. And it's just
Have you
like,
guys ever been a part of a coding project before?
I have not.
From I do mock-ups and then hand it over, and they do everything for me. I don't know what I'm doing.
Fair. Okay. So I was, and this is a little bit of history into Jeff here, but I was actually a part of man, I can't remember how many tens of thousands of people downloaded this, but so IRC, you're familiar, right? You've seen the episode,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I remember.
So I was a big so there's this IRC client called Merc, and it was basically designed for coders in mind, right? And so, dude, I was all in. Dude, I was a big part of this open source. Are you guys familiar with like open source fucking programming projects?
Yeah, I love them. I support.
Oh my god, dude, it was so great. Dude, I seriously like the shit that I wrote, like tens of thousands of people downloaded it. Like it was a big fucking deal in the Merc community at the time. It was man, uh, God, the wild west of the internet days. Oh my god.
Now, yep. And now we're dealing with the dead internet. We've seen the whole thing.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. I don't want to say it. You know, I'll say it. If I get banned, we'll get banned. On Twitch, there's a bad problem with bots, and it's at least 20%. Last time I checked, it could be more now. That's how many people are watching. How much percent of their audience and the numbers, and it's Twitch doesn't care, and Twitch will auto ban you sometimes when you say bots. Because we've had a bot.
I'm gonna
here
test it.
before.
I'm gonna test it. Hold on. Bots. Whoop. No, bots. Fuck you. Bots.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's bad right now, and I think on every platform that everywhere you go, there's bots. I think I'm thankful I have not had as much of an issue that I've had with bots before. And we did get bot rated, and when you get bot rated, Twitch will auto ban you if you say bots. That's why I kind of had a panic. And like Proc, you were here at the time, and I was like,
Yeah.
don't say the word bots.
Yeah, I try to be considerate when it's somebody else's hosting the space, although I do fail sometimes.
It's I don't know. Twitch is weird. Twitch,
Yeah, it
I think they,
Hellfire.
an advertised view is an advertised view for them, and as far as they care, like, and for some reason, advertisers don't care either. They're just like, yeah, and I bet it's probably because they're getting paid regardless from like Coca-Cola.
They don't care until it affects them. That's how it goes.
Yeah,
It's a sad fact of life.
it's crazy. They're more okay like with bots and fake views and just burning their money than they are with like, I don't know. Anytime something slightly weird happens on YouTube, the apocalypse always happens, and I'm just like, okay, well, your money was going nowhere anyways because it's all botted views. The same with Twitch. If something happens and there's like an apocalypse on Twitch, it's just like nothing's gonna change.
Yeah, just a sad universal fact. Nothing ever changes till it has to. I wanted to try to compare writing, say, an article versus writing music because Jeff, both of you have experience in that field. So I'm sure you guys could go off for a whole another hour if you wanted to. There, Jeff?
Yes.
The bot's got to.
Dude, I'm sorry. I literally had to take a piss.
That's fair.
Here we go.
That happens on Twitch.
So the difference in writing. Okay. So, you know what? I'm gonna play you guys a song.
Nice.
All right, bet.
Have you guys ever seen Trailer Park Boys?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So, are you familiar with the song "Liquor and Whores"?
Yes.
Vaguely.
All right. So when I heard this song, right? So it was actually my buddy was he was like, dude, like I get really upset about Trailer Park Boys because all the women in there, like they're just they're just like tied to these guys and like they're not up until the later seasons. He's just like, dude, I wish the fucking women in this show like had a fucking say, right? So I wrote this third verse for Liquor and Whores. If you're familiar with the show, it's dude. So the difference in writing songs versus a journalism piece is cannabis.
Nag noted.
I think from my point of view, I come from a fan of rap. Rap has changed the way it writes. It used to be guys with a piece of paper writing things down, and then you like musically read that out. Nowadays, I want to say about 2007-ish, thing kind of changed the way rappers rap. And now they kind of do it like the way, I don't know if you've ever saw like the Beatles Get Back documentary. They kind of write it like that, where they just kind of go through multiple passes of just like saying random things. And this is where mumble rap kind of comes in and has kind of been hated, but pros and cons to everything. But like that writing process of just laying down the framework of the rhythm of the rap, of the music, and then slowly placing in words as you figure out what you want to say. Did you ever watch the Get Back documentary?
No, I haven't.
That's good. You should. It's on Disney Plus. It's like
I will make a note.
but it's also like 20 hours long.
That's fine. I don't give a fuck about that.
But it's great. You got to saw like Paul McCartney. At one point he takes his guitar, he sits there and kind of starts strumming a pattern and like humming to himself, and then slowly over like the span of like an hour or two, it goes from like this blurry vision of a song to kind of vaguely resembling Get Back, and I'm like, that is cool. Just watching the process.
Wow, dude, that sounds. What was that again? Hold
on Disney Plus, it's like this Beatles. I think it's the Get Back or it could be like called Let It Be. Let me see.
What is it? Beatles, the what?
Some documentary. He said either
Oh yeah, Get Back.
Let It Be or Get Back.
It's Get Back.
Great. Yeah. But yeah, and that and that is sometimes the writing process from a musical standpoint. It's dude, writing music is such a different because it's poetry, right? So uh um I know people hate the Doors and fuck those people, but uh uh Jim Morrison actually broached the line, right? And so no, he didn't broach the line, he fucking fucked the line, right? So but I very much respect his quote where he says true poetry does not say anything. It just opens the doors. And so and that's what I really feel about music. It's music and writing music. Oh my God. Writing music takes you into a space where a lot of people it's relatable. It's relatable because you're talking about yourself. Like you write music from a personal space. I don't write articles from a personal space. I write it from a journalistic space. But from when I write a song, it's personal. It's very, very personal. And so I think that would be the difference. I mean, look at fucking Johnny Cash, dude. Like, dude wrote from his fucking heart, and like really just honed in on the best writers hone in on the human condition. That's what I would say.
Sure. Though in the case of Johnny Cash, he also sang a lot of other people's songs.
That's true. Okay. Well, let's not bring common sense into this.
Just saying, like all the songs he's known for.
He also got drunk in a bush and ate a cake. So yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'll never be that cool.
Thank you for the meme.
You're welcome.
Throwback. You will
you.
never be as cool as Johnny Cash sitting in a bush eating a cake hole. And I won't. God. I aspire to be like that individual. I did get kicked out of a Pixies concert. That was a cool thing.
I did see you like personally get really close down in Florida while you were drunk harassing.
Oh yeah, again, like I said, if you want to be a writer, just drink a lot and then hate yourself and then just keep doing those things.
It's a repeat.
Yeah. I did. Dude, I still remember, and I don't give a fuck. I still remember you being like, dude, you literally passed out like in the middle of like a whole fucking. It was like there was so much noise. Like it was like it was like beating in my chest, and I still passed out. That was great.
Yeah. You passed out in the middle of a fucking concert.
Mm-hmm.
That was wild.
Wouldn't be. That wasn't the first time.
I'm really glad I was there.
It's not a concert if someone's not passing out.
Right. Well, it's a different story because the story I did get kicked out of a Pixies concert. I was there to shoot the show. Like I had my camera, and I'd met a buddy of mine there, and she was just like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you brought me to a Pixies concert." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude." And then next thing I knew, I was out in an alley in a wheelchair, and somebody's trying to call an ambulance, and because they're like, "Dude, you're fucked," and I'm like, bitch. I'm like, fuck you. I was.
Don't you tell me what I can't do.
Do you know who the fuck I am? Blah, blah, like that sort of shit. Like a total douchebag. Totally did it. But yeah, well, it's a writer's life. Again, drink, and just keep doing that.
Yeah, I haven't told a lot of people this, but when I first started like streaming on Twitch, I had such fucking anxiety. I think for like couple months I would always have to take a shot before hitting like go live, and like that's my process. Drink, hit record until there was like a recording that I was too drunk and I was like, fuck. just
Dude, I
waste-
had that same thing when it was like I started playing out in bands and shit like that, and like, hey, we're gonna do this thing. I'm like, great, and and all of a sudden Mike goes, dude, you broke a string and you're too drunk to fucking restring your fucking guitar. Fuck off, fuck off.
Wow.
Okay.
That's nutty. Yeah. God. When it comes to like, especially when it comes to like talking to people in general, like my process for getting through that was significantly different. Like,
you
It
don't
didn't
have to
involve
drink to talk to
booze, is
people.
what you're saying.
no, it was a bit more embarrassing than that. I
Oh.
was
Go on.
so being the bit of a degenerate that I am, I went to a bikini barista once, and
Fuck me. Go on.
and a young lady I'd never seen before. She was working that day, and if I had designed a chick in a computer, this is basically what she would look like. And I could not physically look at her and talk at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, to put in an order, I actually had to put my hand up like a fucking horse blinder and look the other way, and then I could talk.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, and the whole rest of the day, I was just like roasting the absolute shit out of myself. Like, bro, what the fuck was that? Okay, that's never happening again.
Just get
And
sunglasses. Just get sunglasses that you don't have to look at anyone. You don't have to make eye contact.
Yeah,
I agree
okay.
with Flex in this scenario, but yes.
But so to combat that, I went there every single day and just engaged in small talk while I was, making my order. And
Sure.
eventually, I got to the point where like I've been up on stage, over with Brian, and had zero problems.
Sure.
Like, if anything, I am now too comfortable, and that occasionally gets me in trouble.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna go out in public. I'm gonna find the hottest girl and lock her down and talk to her for an hour.
Go for it.
Dude,
Consent is the thing.
it's so funny because like, oh god, okay, I shouldn't say this, but people are just like, dude, how like, why do you how do you not just go up and talk to a girl? Like, if she shuts you down, then fuck off. Like I don't like again, it's going back to the very thing that I talked about at the beginning of this podcast. The only thing worse than doing something poorly is not doing it. So, go up and shoot your shot.
Yeah. And even if she
Right?
says, ew, gross.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Dude, fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Great.
know exactly where you were going with that, and I'm glad you raised it.
Great. I will fuck off.
Yeah, fuck
Like,
you.
like, it's
your
fine.
pussy smell like
It's
lasagna,
fine.
anyways.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's all whatever. If somebody isn't interested in for any reason, it's fine. Like, there's tons of people out there that will be interested.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
you just got to take the time to find them.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem with like the Zoomers and the Gen Alpha right now, and why they're struggling. It's because they grew up on the internet, and I'm just like, I grew up on the internet, but I also grew up with like the Gen X, and they were like, turn off the fucking computer, you motherfucker. And I'm like, fine.
Get off the computer. We need to make calls.
Like, I think.
Go ahead.
I think millennials are like the last of us to like actually live fucking human lives before the PC became so omnipresent in everything we do now. And now all these kids now, I just feel bad. I'm like, oh man, they suck at everything. Everything they do, everything they say sucks. But also, I can't be that old man that's like, ooh, kids, gross.
Well, and to be fair, it does depend on how they grow. And so I found the internet, and again, I'm very old. For anybody watching, I'm 46 years old, very old. But so I found the internet when I was in high school, right? So like 95, Windows 95. That's where I found the internet. And so, yes, what you're saying is 100% true. It's a weird mix between people who think that their voices need to be heard and the people whose voices actually need to be heard. Does that make sense? So what I really, really love about the internet, and I'm going to dive into some fucking Chomsky-ism right here. But like, one of the most beautiful things about human existence is the fact that we can communicate with one another, right? Like that is a fucking triumph of evolution and species and these sorts of things.
For sure.
Um, it's crazy. And again, as a writer, I'm going to tell you guys, really, just sidebar. There's no such thing as a language. Don't let anybody tell you different. Anyway, going back. So the internet has given voice to people who need it, and I will never, ever, ever be convinced otherwise, because I do believe that the internet has bolstered voices that need to be heard, but it's also done the opposite and has also bolstered voices that don't need to be heard. So
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I mean. So
I
fuck.
hear you completely. Like it's given pretty much everybody the opportunity to be heard everywhere, and that's where all the noise comes from. And
I think it makes people delusional. Like when you're in a bubble and
well,
you're surrounded by
yeah,
50 other people that are the same
And not,
thing, 100% believe everything you say, and it makes you like lose touch with every other thing around you because you don't see it as much or don't.
well,
sure.
and not only in a bubble, but you have the protection of a screen between you and the people you're talking to. Like
Yeah.
nobody's, dude, dude, dude. I'm sorry, but like you can be an internet fucking douchebag, right? But
Mm,
like you're not gonna, stumble upon somebody in an elevator and then call them a fucking asshat, like, and scream it at them, like in real life, right?
yeah,
The
yeah,
screen gives people a certain comfort to, again, like I was telling you earlier, it's like, dude, like I've gotten death threats from articles that I've written. Like that's a whole thing, but it's like it's very comfortable for that person to sit behind a screen and be like, "I will come kill you." It's like, okay, okay, all right,
Do it.
come
I've been
on.
trying for years.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. But like again, there's a certain sense of safety behind the screen and but that also at the same time needs to be coupled with the fact that the internet has been a great thing for like social movements and these sorts of things. So it's like you take the good with the bad, right?
yeah. We try.
Yeah.
Well, I
It's
mean,
it's
we
not
fail
always
at
easy.
it a lot, but
Oh yeah, like like last night, I told you about the studio manager that
Mhm.
was going through a
Yep,
rough time,
yep.
and like yeah, he's currently getting flooded with tons and tons and tons of bullshit. At the same time, I had the opportunity to have a one-on-one with him last night and help alleviate that a little bit. Like it's an incredible thing, and it should be taken. We should take uh, that privilege responsibly.
Yeah. And again, like we talked about, it's the shit that individual is getting is
Mhm.
from non-creators.
Which
It's it's
again, yeah,
it's
you
it's people who don't know fuck me from fuck you, right?
yeah
So like they don't create. They can only criticize
yeah for sure.
and fuck them. So
Oh,
hey, quote me on that.
will
Fuck
do.
them.
Quote.
Fuck
This is
you,
going in.
fucking non-creator fucks who criticize us. Fuck you.
Oh, perfect. That's the quote. That's the clip.
Ship it, clip it, post it, done.
Yeah,
That's been my
post it right on my
frustration.
channel. I don't give a fuck.
That's been my
I don't give a
frustration
fuck.
that I've had the past couple of years. I'm just like, so many people that don't make art, just sitting there and then tearing down someone's entire career, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
okay, but like
it's stupid.
they like when you don't work in a studio, like you don't understand. Like there's compromises they're making with their execs, and the execs are also making trying to figure out like, and unfortunately, like trying to figure out like whatever the mass audience wants, and it's it can be a miss, it can be a hit. Nobody knows until you put it out there, and you're like, okay, that worked, that didn't
Mm.
work, and I'm sad that we don't see enough like genuine criticism of why things are good or not, because I think there's benefit in criticism, like
Oh yeah,
to be like it's bad because of these 10 things, but nowadays it's just like people just want to hate something, and it's just like, all right, well, that's not
Mm.
making them a better creator.
It's not productive.
Yeah.
It's not productive. Right. Yeah.
100%.
And I agree. Like, honestly, like, I have had people reach out to me, other writers, actually, and be like, dude, about this. And I really take that into consideration when I do my next piece. I have had writers reach out to me and be like, dude, well, what about this? And it's like, okay, yes, 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 you're right, 100%. But again, if it's just some random douchebag, like that's that's a whole different thing. Like if you're not, and I'm not sorry, if you're not in this creative space, and if you're not fucking doing the shit, you have no regency, to judge what I'm doing, and you can fuck off.
Completely agree. Like I I get plenty of guff thrown my way on a halfway regular basis, but in comparison, Flex here has has kept me in check a number of times, and I genuinely appreciate that. Truly, like honest criticisms, like will do nothing but benefit you.
Yeah,
So
100%.
don't take it personally.
Yeah, that's my
100%.
my genuine like hardest thing to do sometimes is to find. I want someone to come roast the shit out of my videos, and I feel like sometimes people are just way too nice. And I'm just like, no, I need you to like go through and tell me why it sucks. Like I don't need you to clap. I don't need you to like clap for me. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for like genuine like come through, make me fucking cry, please. I want to know what I can do to be better.
Dude, you are 100% on the right track. Oh my God. That's the greatest thing that I've ever. It's like that's literally okay. So that's literally my process. It's like if I get some other creative person is like, dude, you fucking shit the bed on this one. It's like, okay. How can I be better?
Mm.
Well, this and that and the other thing. Oh my God, you're way more prevalent in this scene than I am. So I want to learn, right? And that's the whole thing, and that's what I think the whole thing is. It's like it's a lack of wanting to learn. It's like I know all the fucking no, you don't, right? So learn from people who know better than you do. It seems pretty obvious. I don't. Is that just me?
Yeah, it sounds like one of those things that shouldn't need to be said, but most people probably wouldn't really think about.
Yeah, I think people just want to protect their ego. They do it for attention. They want to make things, have the like audience clap and be like, yes, I'm great. I think there are a lot of narcissists in like this creative space,
Well,
and there are a lot of. I mean, as
I'm not wrong.
like there, I want more creators that just want to make something better than it was, a year ago. And I don't. I'm happy. I have a couple of people I speak to that I send my videos to, and I'm just like, all right, make me cry, do it. Won't pussy.
Yep.
Do it. No
Yep.
balls. Say quote from our actual DMs.
Do it, no balls.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, Flex, you got me here for a few more minutes. What do you got?
Yes.
Questions?
What
Go.
do I have? What do I have? Let me go through some of what of my.
All right.
Let's
Check
think
your
through. Let's
notes.
think about this like through a problem solving thing. Like what's been like my biggest issue I think in the past few months. Oh,
Go on.
fucking burnout.
Burnout. Okay. I have no notes there. That's just a thing that you have to deal with.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. As I
Full
just
stop. Full
have
stop.
powered through it. Like right
Yep.
now, I'm hating my life. Even when I had like my most like engaging video, I'm still just like I'm still tired right
Yep.
now.
Yep. Nope. There is, dude. I wish I had advice for that one, but it's you just have to fucking deal with it. That's it's fucked. It's fucked. Because it's you're like, I'm the worst writer ever. I am a piece of shit. I hate everything. I hate myself, obviously. Like all this shit, and then it moves on, and then you and then you do the thing again, right? So it's
Yeah.
it's just a thing that you have to deal with. It's a part of being a professional writer is hating yourself, and so you just have to deal with that.
Yeah, I've been doing this thing in meditation where I just like let myself feel anxiety, and then eventually I get bored and I'm just like, all right, the anxiety's gone, and I don't know. I've been liking that, and maybe that makes
That
me a
is cool.
masochist.
No, I think that's actually like a healthier way to do it.
Yeah,
It is a healthier way to do it. You do it better than I do. So what it really is just crawling back inside yourself and figuring out, who you are and what you're doing, and you know,
Mm.
um, yeah.
I
Well, a
don't
lot
I
of
don't
people
know if
spend.
it's good or bad, but I've been just like
No, it's good.
lately tuning out the world, like tuning out everything, and I don't want to become where I'm like disconnected, but I'm just like it's hard to listen to everyone because I feel like everyone has like a valid complaint, everyone has like valid arguments to some extent.
No, they don't. They don't. But go on.
But yeah, I do try to listen and understand everyone to a certain extent, and so
Yes.
I'm trying to not do that anymore, and I'm just like, all right, well, you know what, I'm just gonna do my thing. I've stopped like watching YouTube as much because I'm just like it's only gonna send me down more drama holes.
Mm.
And as bad as it is, I know I have to be like on Twitter and like engaging and doing the things because that's what you're supposed to do to grow. I can't do it. It's just
You're telling me, man. So you post infinitely more than I do.
I
I
had
use
to
that thing to
fucking manage
network.
fucking modern rogue fucking socials for a long time. It's fucking shithole, dude.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a thing. But yeah, I mean, again, you're right. It's if you're gonna go down this path, then it is a shit show, dude. Like there's no getting around it. Like you just have to go through those processes, right? So and that's why some of your most famous YouTubers experience burnout because it's fucked, dude. Like I mean,
Yeah, you're
like
transparent
in
off the horse.
order to make money on YouTube, like you have to work a minimum of like 80-hour weeks, right? So like, hey, I can go work at Walmart for $20 an hour, or I can work 80 hours a week for fucking scraps from YouTube. So
Mm.
I mean, you guys know what I'm saying, right?
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I hear you completely.
Yeah, it's fucked. But there are those people who do win the lotto, and so if you do it long enough, and again, I am trying to do this now. But if you do, actually, here I'm gonna plug myself. If you're listening to this and you need an editor in chief, I'm available. But 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 uh like seriously, man, it's tough, dude. It's tough to make it in this world, man. It's the creative world is fucked.
Mm.
It's I don't know. I hope that somebody chimed in today, hoping to hear me talk about how this is very doable. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. Find another job.
Yeah,
Find another job, bitches.
I think right now people are slowly waking up to not everyone's gonna be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And
It's like
I don't think everyone's there yet. I saw this video from Giga. She's a VTuber, and she was like asking her audience. She was like live on Twitch of how many people of you want to be like VTubers like I am, and there were a lot of ones in chat, and she was like, "Well, that kind of makes sense." Like, and it made me rechange like how I have to think about my audience because I think they're the most engaged. They want to be creatives, so people on Twitch want to do what we're doing, which is make a living as a creative, make content, be entertaining, and so I'm like, all right, I have to figure out a way to speak to that audience because that's the audience here on Twitch, and it's not
it
the
sounds
audience on
like.
YouTube. The audience on YouTube is different. They're casual. They like watching and being entertained and laugh, but the people on Twitch wanna be on Twitch live streaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
They
sounds
want to
like you're creating the person
I am.
Mm.
that I
Let's write that
told you
down.
about.
E.
It sounds
Yeah.
like that you're creating the person.
Yeah,
You're close. You're close. You're close.
Mm.
I like I said, I've heard that saying a lot, but I've never one thought to do it, and two really fully understood what they mean when they say stuff like that, because it's just such an abstract. And I'm like, or well, how do I find the person? Would I just make a guy named Nick, and he just really loves feet?
Yep.
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 Exactly.
Dude,
Perfect audience.
Dude, you're right there. you're there, dude. You're there.
A lot easier than you thought.
Nick, fucking foot fetishist. Fuck, dude. Yes.
Perfect.
Nailed it.
Fucking foot fetishist, Nick. Dude, I don't know, Nick, if you're listening, but I love you.
I love that you love feet.
I don't love feet.
No, Nick does. Let him enjoy his feet.
You can enjoy your feet. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have fun.
I'll
Live your
bully.
best
I'll
life.
bully you
Oh,
for it.
Quentin Tarantino likes his feet, so.
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
he does.
Yeah.
He scares me sometimes.
Well, because he's
Yeah.
a fucking racist. Okay. The amount
I
of
don't know about
times that
that.
motherfucker writes N-words into his script. Fucking
Hey.
cunt. What a cunt bitch. Okay.
Oh,
I know, dude, I like Tarantino flicks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, dude.
I'm
but,
more
like,
worried about TOS.
I think as long as we
Depending on
don't
certain
say
words.
it, we're good.
I just said
Okay.
N-word.
Yeah.
I didn't say the actual
No,
word.
you
right?
said the C word.
Wait.
Oh, well.
Oh,
okay.
okay. Twitch TOS is a little bit softer than people realized. Wait, what C word?
Okay.
The C
Anyway,
word.
moving.
Okay.
Oh no,
okay.
I say that all the time.
Moving
I also say
Okay. I'm good. Cunt.
All right.
All right.
It's fine. He calls me that all the time.
I do. It's my jovial, like, hey,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
you doing?
Just
How
say,
you doing,
yeah,
bro?
you should have seen me. Yeah, you should have seen it when I called dibs on the front seat.
yeah. I actually think YouTube has a bigger problem with like the C word than Twitch.
Yeah.
Like YouTube will push.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think Twitch gives a fuck, dude.
yeah.
Yeah, probably.
But
Either way.
yeah, that's the reason why you don't see like so many Aussies making it on the YouTube homepage.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Makes sense.
It is it is funny how that word is different in Europe than it is here, or there in Aussie Zedland.
Yeah.
You know.
I wonder how
Yeah.
long it'll be until like American English kind of really starts breaking off from other forms of like Australian and British.
Right. Like
I don't know.
idiocracy territory. Here
Yeah,
we go.
or will just
We're already there.
America's dominance of media like force our language on them.
Yeah.
We'll start saying
Yeah.
bet and liddy and giat.
Okay. Don't fuck with me. All right.
Yeah. Slang is proof that language isn't a thing.
Well, and so that's what I did want to talk about. So so I subscribe to the Chomsky version of linguistics, wherein language is not an actual thing.
Oh yeah. No, I've said this before, and I scare people when I go down this rant. I'm like, language hurts things. Language is like damaging and degrading to things because the second you like, and I got this from who's the director? David Lynch.
Yeah.
He's like the second you describe a word, you can like put it in the camp of like beautiful or gross. So one of the things he says is like a picture of this like beautiful, like colorful, layered picture, and you're like, oh, that's kind of pretty. That's kind of pretty. But then when you're like, oh, that's actually a pus, like a scabby pus on someone's skin, you're just like, okay, well now that's gross. Like that
Yeah,
image becomes gross.
Correct. Yeah, and so that's the whole concept behind Chomsky linguistics is that there is no language. There are just certain sounds, right? Certain sounds and cadences and these sorts of things that allow us to communicate with other people, right? Also, probably 95% of language is internal. It does not express itself outwardly.
Can
right?
you explain what
So-
you mean with I don't? What do you mean by that?
So most of language is in your head. Most of language is in your head. Just think about how much you communicate with the outside world versus how much conversation you have in your head. Just think about that for a minute. It's 95%. I'm pretty
least.
sure. I'm
At
pretty
least.
sure. Yep. So language, again, language does not exist. Language is just certain ways that we can communicate with others and with ourselves, and mostly with ourselves. And so and so and so most of the conversation you have is inside your own fucking head. Think about that. You know that's true, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Think
there
about
are
that for
some
a minute.
people that have this like condition where they don't have an internal monologue,
That's
and
true.
that blows
And
my
there are
mind.
people that see colors in sounds and you know these sorts of things. True. But broadly.
I feel like people who don't have inner monologues or suffer from like aphantasia might just be
Oh,
NPCs.
well,
I don't get that.
and you, I mean, dude, you know Brant, right?
Yeah, I
So
know.
you know that he suffers from that, right?
I'm
So,
aware. That's why I
yeah.
brought it up.
So, yeah. And so again, each individual human is the protagonist of their own universe, right?
Yeah.
So, but again, generally, if we're not talking about a Brant or we're not talking about Flex in this scenario, we're talking about most of the human dialogue that occurs is internal. Like
Yeah.
that's just a fucking fact. That's
Yeah.
just a
No,
fucking
I hear
fact.
you completely. Like maybe it's just because my job isn't very social, surprisingly. I spend pretty much all day basically talking to myself and just going over ideas like the story idea I mentioned to you while we were waiting for
Mhm.
Flex. And so yeah, I completely understand. And that's just me. Like prior to anybody even speaking, you have to actually think about what it is you want to try to translate from one person to another,
Mhm.
and formulate all those thoughts into something digestible. And it's never going to be 100% accurate. We're basically just people locked in cells tapping on the walls in Morse code.
Yeah, I think I like watching arguments online because they're weird. Because half the time, when you watch people fight, they're really arguing about semantics, and nobody wants to
Mm.
acknowledge that that's what everyone's screaming about. Is like someone says something, and they're like, "To me, that thing you said is such and such in this box that I put,
Yeah.
whatever it is," and then someone else is like, "Well, to me, that thing you said, I'm putting it in this box, and that box to me is bad," and it's just like I don't think people are trying to understand each other as they are just trying to get their point across, and it's just like a lot of times like it's just semantics. Like we're just like how people interpreted something that you said or did, good or bad, and it's just like a lot of that doesn't even matter because like I think
Well,
I think some of the worst people in the world do some of the nicest things, and I think some of the
it's true.
I don't know. It's just I don't know, and I as you're a writer, but I for sure I just have a hatred of words that I'm just like it's just tearing the world apart.
Well, and so if I can defend myself in this moment,
Bet.
um, the truth tellers of this world are journalists, right? I'm s- I'm not
Bruce
sorry.
TM.
Fuck you. The truth tellers of this world are journalists. It's why it's the First Amendment and not the Second, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
So it was very important. It was very important to the founders of this slave owning fucking cunt of a nation. I mean, as long as it didn't involve black people, we need to have freedom of speech, right? And we need to have freedom of press. And so press is an underrated part of the society. It's funny because when you hear news stories on like the evening news or the national news or whatever, it's done by local journalists. You guys know this, right?
Yeah.
It's local fucking journalists. And that's nobody knows a fucking goddamn thing unless fucking local journalists are on the ground. and and people vilify these people who are doing the fucking work of the fucking Constitution. Fuck off. Like literally, like this was enshrined. I don't know if you've read the constitutional debates. I have, but like this was a very important thing, again, to these slave owning cunts. To everybody needs to be informed, right? So the Walter Cronkite's of the world, the like this is very, very fucking important. Like everybody talks about the fucking Second Amendment, but fuck you, freedom of the press is in the first.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Freedom of the press is in the first, and you can all eat dick because when cuntbag Trump talks about like we need to fucking I'm sorry I'm getting political, but fuck that guy, and he's like we're gonna do this and that to these fucking press people. It's like, dude, bitch, you haven't even read the Constitution. You haven't even read it. Like fuck all, like it's in there before the second. It's in there before the second. Fuck off. Fuck off. Like it's a way more important. It's a way more important. And I don't understand how people don't understand this.
Yeah.
I would like your guys' thoughts.
The scariest thing to me is when I see people going after journalists. If it's for like even like someone like reviewing a Mac phone before it leaks and they sue them or something, or like Julian Assange with like WikiLeaks and stuff. And it's a lot of that scares me, that someone's going to go and say like, oh, the government killed like so one of the big things from the WikiLeaks that came out was the like photographers murdered.
Yeah.
Government never
Yeah.
really acknowledged it until the video came out, and it was like, oh yeah, here they were in a helicopter and they just shot down a bunch of Americans, just shot down a bunch of guys with cameras, and it just was not going to be a public talk until it leaked. And I'm just like seeing people persecuted for that. I'm like, shouldn't the soldiers that shot the guys carrying cameras be persecuted? Why are you going after the journalist covering this? Like that's, to me, that's the scary part.
Yeah,
It is. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's fucking ridiculous that people are way more interested over the narrative of history than like the lives of the people involved. That is a priority I will never understand.
Agreed. And it's horrifying because again, there is a reason that again, if you've read the Constitutional Convention, you would understand that the Bill of Rights wasn't even supposed to be a part of the Constitution. Like a lot of people argued it. It's like, well, if we state the rights, then the other rights won't. It doesn't matter anyway. The point is man, fucking First Amendment. I don't understand what people don't understand about the First Amendment, because they always want to talk about freedom of speech, right? And freedom of speech is important. And to be fair, we are in this fucking country. We have way more freedom of speech than any other nation on earth. That's a true fact.
Yeah.
That is a very, very true fact, and I love it. I can't.
Oh god, like I was gonna say, even recently, like people over in Great Britain are being arrested for posting memes.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah,
That was so
online.
stupid. That
It's stupid. It's
That is
very,
fucking absurd.
very stupid. I would piss on the cop who tried to arrest me for exercising my freedom of speech rights.
Right.
I would literally do that. I'd probably be made a meme at some point. But anyway,
Probably.
my point is the First Amendment is very important, and a lot of people talk about the Second Amendment, but and the Second Amendment protects our First Amendment. No, it doesn't. You fucking cunt fucks. It's being able to speak out. Have you guys ever watched fucking John Oliver's show?
Yeah.
Motherfucker just fucking digs. And so you know what I'm doing. I'm going to fucking do a YouTube channel here shortly that digs hard into American history, very hard, and it's gonna it's it's gonna bring to light all of the hardcore racism and fucking uh, uh, war on poor people instead of poverty, like those sorts of things. Like
Yeah.
it's this country is fucked. I love this country. I love this country, but it's also fucked at the same time. Like two
Oh,
things
yeah.
can exist at the same time, right?
Oh, yeah,
So,
for sure.
That's a thing a lot of people don't really get into, is like the nuance of things. I do like that idea though. I feel like a lot of people are just kind of misinformed when talking about issues, and it's just like, but you're aware, like fucking they flooded the streets with crack to like spread the news of like that it like it hit multiple things for them. Like they could like go on their like fund their drug war and like be able to like put down whoever they specifically like Malcolm X and MLK kind of people to like say, yeah, they're no this issue or whatever. I mean, I don't want to get into a lot of details, but it's just like the government has not had the best interest for people, and it's hard to trust the government no matter who's in charge. For me, I'm always nervous. I'm always like, they're gonna fuck us over anytime now. And I think it comes from like I haven't talked a lot about this. My uncle being an armed agent for AIM, considered a
Okay.
terrorist organization here in America.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm just always like, the government will fuck you over any chance. What Killer Mike said of like, what they'll do to the least of us, they'll someday do to the rest of us.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, no matter who is in power, right? I mean, the government is still owned by rich white guys, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the world that we live in currently. I mean, dude, you're right. Like, dude, it's all right. You know what? I am starting an anarchist movement, and we will see it through.
That I got my gun.
I have a flamethrower.
We don't need guns, dude. It's fucking dude. Anarchism is direct democracy. Come on. We don't need guns. It's not chaos. It's direct democracy.
Gotcha. Well, that was a lovely conversation.
Oh, well, yeah. Dude, okay. Well,
We spanned the scope from creative process to starting a new anarchist movement.
That went a
well, I
couple
mean,
directions didn't expect.
guys, come on. Tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm wrong. Wherein the means of production are owned by the workers. Tell me that's wrong.
You're not wrong. I would like to see
Yeah, I
more
was gonna
co-ops.
say,
Like people should form more co-ops with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's especially like when it comes to creativity and like being your own producer. I think if people were like, if 5 artists were to get together, all pool their money and be like, all right, let's buy whatever printing machines or whatever press machines we want, and hire agents to like sell our stuff to like stores and stuff. That would do so much more for you as a creative to like be a co-op of. I don't know. I'm seeing it now. There's slowly a trend of co-ops, corporations kind of coming up, where the workers are actually like, yeah, we're the board. It's employee board, and whoever the CEO is who they appoint. Ludwig recently did that with his org. He just took it and gave it to the employees, and I'm like, I want to do that. I don't know how yet, but I would like to start an org like that where I'm just like, it's co-op. Like the profits get paid to the employees and everyone who is like working with us as an artist.
Dude, I've literally just started that. Like, honestly, just even with my Discord, it was just like, so this is a direct democracy. So, like, if you guys, determine that I'm a cunt and you want to kick me out, like, let's go. like fuck off.
Yeah, precisely.
But I firmly believe in that concept. I mean, it was like during the Spanish Civil War in the
Mm,
20s, 30s. Um,
yeah,
like, dude, like they had a fucking means of production, and they owned it, dude. It's. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm annoyed by the fact that a certain person starts a thing and then they're like, "Well, I'm the owner," right? And it's like, well, nobody does anything by themselves, fuckface,
mm,
right? So you're you're not fucking Elon Musk, and you can fuck off. And also fucking Elon Musk.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna get your fucking podcast downgraded by this comment, but fuck him.
Precisely.
Because it's fucking Dunning Kruger, man. It's somebody does something spectacular, and they're like, oh, I can do all the things spectacular. No, you can't. No, you can't. You're a dick, right? So
It's been a while
like,
since I've heard that term.
Yeah, I think that's one thing a
which
lot.
term, dick or
I mean,
cunt face?
Dick.
Dunning Kruger.
Oh, Dunning Kruger. Okay.
It's been a while since I heard that.
Yeah, dude, it's like, dude, I've Dunning Kruger like
Yeah,
a lot. Oh my God, I've done all these things, so I should be good at these. No, no,
yeah,
no,
I
nope,
completely,
no.
yeah, I completely understand. I've been right there with you. Like, I've if you look at my resume, I've done some genuinely impressive shit. That said, I'm not better than anybody else.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If any, it shows you how low the bar really is.
No, that's what I always say, especially like when I used to work in Hollywood, I'm just like, dude, I don't think there's I mean, there is nepotism, but I don't think it's that hard to get in. I just think there's like 500 open doors in Hollywood that you can go knock on, and someone will be like, yeah, come on in, come do this thing for me.
Mm,
And
yeah,
but the thing is, like, there's a million doors to knock on. You don't know which doors to knock on. So I you just have to be like that motherfucker. You have to be persistent to get your foot in the door. You got to knock on every door until you find someone that's like,
That is true, but you touched on a very good point. You have to know people.
yeah.
So
I mean,
so
you can. I think that helps because that's going to give you like at least for the studios I worked in. They could be very different for like different studios, but for the studio I've worked in, it was very much like, yeah, just go knock on that door. Like someone will like nepotism to me when I saw it was just like people pointing people in the direction of where you need to go. Of like go knock on that door that guy's hiring. But if you were to like be because I've hired and it's when you're hiring, you're like, I have 500 god awful applicants right now. I have no good applicants in front of me. I just want someone that's competent to open the door, please. And so that's where like from my experience in my very limited, it was a very 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 small studio too. I mean you would know the name, but um, it was frustrating because I don't know. It was not hard to get in.
I have a question.
I just knew where to go to get in, and I think if
I
people
have a
know where to
question.
go, yeah.
So how much did it matter who was connected when you
Um,
interviewed people? Because in my I'm just gonna spoiler. Um, in my experience, that's literally what mattered.
I
I
think
just happenstanced into my fucking job, right? So like like it really was a who you know scenario. I'm just being honest.
yeah,
yeah, I think
true.
it would somewhat matter because I mean not like I would hire someone who wasn't connected, but if I had to hire somebody because they knew somebody, that's the only reason I would hire them because
See,
it's
there it is.
5,000. Like I said, it's 500 just nobody was qualified for the job. But I would have hired somebody who was good at what they did if they gave me like a good portfolio and I'd be like, oh, this is
Sure,
amazing work.
sure.
But no, it was often just trash, dog shit.
I know this guy, and he knows this guy and blah blah blah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's often like, oh, you know this guy over here. Okay, cool. I'll just hire you because you know somebody. But that's literally the only reason I'm hiring you is because you know somebody, but
because you know this guy.
yeah, but at the end of the day, he was just as trash as all the other applicants. So I'm just like,
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
yeah, and this is why I get on. I'm gonna get political here. This is why I get on a case about DEI, where I'm like, okay, but like, you don't understand because you never hired somebody in a creative field. They're all shit. Like they're all bad. Like when you have to hire somebody, when you actually have to get out there, when you have to put somebody in a field of position, like I hate all of them. I wouldn't pick any of them.
Well, I wouldn't use the word hate, but I know that you're.
No,
I
no,
know
no,
what you're
no, no. I'm
talking
not.
about.
I'm
So
saying
so
like every writer, white, black, they were all bad. They were not what I was looking for. We had to take somebody and we had to train them to be what we were looking for. And so
Mhm,
that's why
mhm.
I like DEI, because I'm just like, all right, well then at the very least somebody can come in and like I still have to train someone, whoever it was, to like be good for this project, to be good, because every studio and every company has like their different way of working. And I'm like, all right, we have to take somebody in, we have to train them on our process, on our standards, on how we work. So
Mhm.
I'm not against DEI. I know people get like testy on that, but I'm just like, go hire, go hire. Show me where I'm like not hiring a qualified white person or whatever, because I'm just like nobody like again this is just because every studio has like different needs, and we're just like we need someone who's good at writing on this. Oh, nobody does this. We have to pick one. We have to pick somebody who's not good at this, and
Yeah,
not to put down
dude,
people who do get
it's a
hired.
whole thing. And to be clear, dude, I have worked with writers from all over the world. My good buddy who's gonna be writing my upcoming YouTube channel with me. Uh, again, like just you have to meet them right where they are. So this guy is a fucking linguist. Like we have conversations about language that like I think he's from Poland, but he lives in Japan. And so like like his but like he just studies language, and it's great to talk to him about that. But to your point, it is about interviewing people and it is about knowing the people and what they're capable of, and if you can extract those moments from that creative mind, like you have something, right? So um uh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I think right now is a good time to be hiring, because you have a smorgasbord of like talent, but like when I was hiring like in 20, what year was it, 19, like when I had to hire people, it was not easy to find someone who could even understand what I was looking for, as like what I needed. And it was frustrating. You would hire somebody and then you had to fire somebody, hire somebody, fire somebody. It was the hardest thing. And so I don't, just when I look at DEI, people being like, "Oh, you're hiring untalented people," and I'm just like, "I do it every day, baby." That
All
was my
right,
political rant.
all right, fair enough, fair enough.
Okay.
Well, I have many more political rants, but I will not subject you to that at this point. um,
Thank you.
um hey, be an anarchist, direct democracy.
Yeah, no,
That's where we're at.
I love that, and man, you actually have just like sparked. I'm like, okay, more than ever now, I want to figure out some way to like build a co-op where a bunch of like creative people can come together and be like, all right, well, we need resources. We need like, let's say if you're a game company, you need resources like a PR guy to help you get into whatever
Right,
publications you need.
right,
You need
right.
account managers to help you. I don't know. I
Well,
don't know game
well,
devs that much.
and honestly, that's been a thing that I've thought about for a long time. It's like I see these really fucking cool projects happening, and I'm just like, dude, you guys need a fucking editor. like,
Yeah,
dude, come on. You can't put this out there for human consumption and not have an editor. Like, motherfuck. Like, dude, I'll do it for free. I swear to God.
Right?
Please let me help you. Like this is shit. Like, I could make it so much better. I'll do it for free. Please, fuck. But like, I don't know. And so again, with the again, I'm gonna soapbox here. With the whole AI thing, it's everybody's like, we don't need writers or editors anymore, and it's like, don't you? Don't you?
Yeah.
Everybody notices. Everybody knows. Everybody knows
Yeah.
when you see a fucking Chat GPT article. Everybody knows, dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows, and they're culling and whoring off of shit that the rest of us did, right? So, man, it's so terrible. So anyway, long story short, if you want an editor on your project, let me know.
And this is just you trying to get more work
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is. It is
while
100%.
pushing down
100%.
everybody else.
Yep.
You're a terrible person.
Fuck everybody in the chat. Fuck everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
All
I'm
five
trying
of
to
you.
get paid, bitches. Fuck off.
I'm gonna start giving that advice.
I'm a struggling writer, bitch. Come
No
on.
worries.
Don't hit live on Twitch. Don't go live. Don't do anything.
Give up on your dreams. You're going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
fail.
You will fail. You will
will
fail.
fail,
You will
yeah.
fail. Yep. Yep.
I
I'm
would
sorry,
say,
'cause, dude. I'm trying to be truthful, but like it's
I-
true. It's like nobody can make a living, dude. I've
I'm
been
just
doing
fucking
this
with
for a decade and a half, and I can't make a living at it. So like, come on.
yeah,
Wow,
I
imagine
think we're
trying
starting to
that
see
hard.
with like, especially like even like 2D visual artists, like they're kind of struggling to get commissions nowadays, and I'm just like, well, I have 5 million options, and I have AI that I could go to also to like
Mm.
do whatever. Like,
Yep.
what separates you from literally millions of other people out there? And
Being a human.
yeah,
Yeah, insane. Like the
That's
only
it.
way,
That's it.
like the only way I've ever succeeded at anything is by the other people I'm working with liking me. That is all.
yeah. I would
Yeah.
say if
Um,
you want to be creative, you have to be able to do this for 10 years and not get paid. That's how you're gonna make it.
I mean,
not
if you,
make
if
it, but
if you do this for 10 years and not get paid, then fuck off and find another thing to do. But
yeah,
but there is a possibility. Again, you could run it into a brushwood and things could change. Like that
Yeah.
that could be a thing.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, that's like winning the lotto,
Oh yeah.
right?
Like
Yeah.
I've talked to
I had no business being on YouTube. No
Mhm.
business. No business being on YouTube. But
yeah, like I remember talking with one of the interns on there, and the only reason he was on was because he just happened to be outside the bar they were shooting at one day, and he
yeah.
was like, "Hey, I'll do something stupid,"
Yep.
and they're like,
Yep.
"Okay, hold this."
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
he's working.
Exactly that. It was just like, hey, Jeff, do you want to do a show about something? And I'm like, yeah, nerdy thing, IRC. Okay, let's go. I'm
Yeah.
like, what? So again, it is again when you get in that Hollywood flex that you were talking about.
yeah,
When you get into that space where it's just a who you know, not it's not a who you know or not what you know, who you know, sort of thing. It's both.
yeah,
So you also it can't just be who you know. You also have to know your shit.
yeah. See, again,
So
that's why I'm like, it's genuinely hard. I mean, not right now. There's plenty of really capable talent out right now, but back then it was so hard to hire somebody because I'm like, oh, they suck, or somebody who has like an amazing portfolio, and then I put them on, and they're just like, "You're so bad. How did you do this?" Blew my mind away right
God,
now.
I feel like you're
They lied
describing me
so
right
much.
now.
Yeah,
Oh my
they lied
God.
all on their fucking resume.
Yeah, it's that. That's just me dealing with like hiring people, and I'm just like, all right, cool. Your portfolio is amazing.
Well, I mean, if I can egomaniacal myself right now, my portfolio is amazing, but also I'm not the greatest at what I do, right?
Yeah,
So if you're in this creative realm, you need to understand that. You need to understand that you're not the best.
You know what? You're right. I think looking back at mine is all luck that I was like, holy shit, wait a second. That's really fucking cool. I'm putting it in my portfolio. I don't think I could recreate that in like a million years.
It's very reassuring to me that you have acknowledged the fact that okay, I did this and it's fucked. like that's literally what I do. I'm like, okay, I did this and it was great. It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
Right. But also stupid. Right.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's fucked and I'm doing better and here we go. So yeah.
Yeah,
Oh wait.
like I've,
Okay, serious question. Hold on. I'm
Go on.
dealing with looking back at some of my work, and I'm just like, I'm questioning if what I'm doing now is better than what I was doing.
Kill your babies. That's my advice.
All right, bet. How?
Kill your babies. Have you ever heard that term?
Same.
Yeah, I've heard that where it's like, something that you love.
Yep. Kill your babies. Kill your babies. Your previous work is not as good as your current work. So fucking kill your babies and fuck them. Like fuck them. Like that's shit. That is shit. Put it aside and move forward. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Now
it.
a lot
Just
of my
keep
a lot of
going.
my good stuff that I've done in the past, it really has been an accident because I'm always in the process of like, I have to make now. I just have to get it out, and if it's amazing, I'm just like, oh shit, that was a fucking that was actually an accident. That it was amazing. It worked.
Yeah, yeah, and that's great when that happens. But it also doesn't have to be amazing. Like kill your babies, dude. Fucking
Yeah.
just right, and everything will work out. I mean, you'll get death threats like I did, obviously, but
Yeah.
like I mean, you'll fucking kill it, dude. Just do. I know Evan and Caitlin, right?
Oh, I love those two.
No,
Evan and
not
Caitlin.
off the top.
Oh shit. Okay, so Evan and Caitlin, look up their YouTube.
Yeah, they do amazing
he
work.
has a, yeah, they do. So he has a shirt that says "Make, fail, make, fail, make," and that
Okay.
is the thing that I want to bring to anybody who wants to do anything creative. It's you're gonna fucking fail, dude. You're gonna fucking fail, and you're gonna fail hard. You're gonna fail hard. People are gonna
Mm.
fucking fuck with you, and they're gonna fucking dude. They're gonna fucking eat. I don't know. Eat shit. Whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're gonna try to shit on whatever it is.
they're
that you
gonna
put out.
they're gonna try to shit on whatever you do because they are not makers, and so they can fuck off all the way forever, and you
Fun
can
stuff. I'm not looking
keep
at anybody's.
keep creating,
I think the
and
great
that's
thing
all.
about making shit sometimes is like sometimes I'll make
It should
something.
be the process, but go on.
Sometimes when I look at something and I'm like, oh, that looks dog shit IRL, but then I take a picture and I'm like, oh, that actually looks really fucking good. Or sometimes I'm like, this looks good in my hand, but then when I take a picture, it looks like a fucking gray ball of shit. Like what looks good on camera and what looks good on person is just not the same thing, and it's hard to
Well,
get those
and
two together.
those to be clear, those are important questions, and I could, dude, we'll have another fucking talk show where we fucking explore these things.
Yeah,
but,
I love making
but
maker spaces, and I definitely would have loved to have like a dedicated like maker episode of where we just talk about like
sure,
that kind of stuff.
sure, but again, at the end of the day, make.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know how much more simple I can make it, but again, like Parjan said, the only thing worse than doing something poorly is not doing something at all. I feel like there was a YouTube video where there's a dude like in a thong, right? And he's like flopping his fucking dick like to the crowd, right?
Okay.
Like he's doing this fucking dude. I'll send it to you guys. I swear to God. So like he's flopping his fucking dick like just to the crowd, and he's just like, "What's stopping you from doing that? What's stopping you from flopping your proverbial dong in the face of people?" Like, well, You know what? That guy knows the secret to life. And you know what it is? It's that doing it was better than not doing it.
I'm doing it.
Doing it, flop your fucking proverbial dong in front of fucking people. Dude, I'm going to go do that right now. I swear to God.
You know, if
Like,
Flex just scrolls up a little bit,
dude, I'm going to go flop my dick in some faces right now. So, I mean, what's better than not doing that? Or, I mean, what's better
Flopping
than,
your dick
you know what I mean?
in a woman's face.
Well, I mean, let's not. Okay.
Not
Well, I'm
not
not
like
gonna
that.
flop my dick in a
we know
woman's
what we
face, but
mean.
you know what I mean. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. So, what's better than not doing that, right? Or, I mean, what's better than doing it poorly? Not doing that, right?
Yeah.
So just do the fucking thing. You know, we'll sort it all out later. It's fucking Jim Morrison,
Yeah.
you know, thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, if we don't push the line, who's pushing the line, right? Us.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm bad at being actually productive, but I like watching like videos on like work ethic of people like the Beatles when they like their first album, they literally just recorded that in a single day because they're just like fuck it, we need to get it out. And like sometimes they'll take months perfecting a song, but when like the time comes, they're just like fuck it, we'll do it. Fuck it, we'll do it live. And like Revolution was that like I think I don't know if you've listened to like the White Album, like the Revolution is acoustic there, but then he's like, I want it to be a single, and it's like it's not hard enough, and he's like, fuck it, we'll do it live, and he just bangs it out real quick, and like that's where that like heavy rock version comes for the single.
And I respect that. The one album that I recorded with my band, we did the same thing. It was just like, dude, I don't give a fuck, and we both were like, dude, we don't give a fuck, and the recording guy was like, yeah, well, this is supposed to be like the product, right? Like this is your songs. Like this is supposed to be the perfect version of it. And it's just like, how about we just do it live and fuck off, right? And so it was just a fucking cool thing. Like we just fucking did it. It was just like I think we did all of our songs in. I think we did one song in 2 takes, but otherwise one take. Like,
Yeah, there's
you
this
not
song
under.
by the Velvet
Go on.
Underground called Sister Ray. I fucking love that song. It's a mess because they were kind of playing around, but they only wanted to do it in one take, and it's like a 20-minute long song. And so they're kind of playing around with like these distortion, and they're putting distortion on everything. And throughout the song,
I'm
the song gets progressively
very
louder.
familiar with Velvet Underground.
Yeah. That song they just did it in one take, but it's a mess. But I fucking love that song.
Dude, Velvet Underground. Dude, you remember their song Heroin, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I've never done heroin, for the record.
For the record.
But dude,
Other
that
things,
song
though.
was fucking crazy.
Yeah, was that the one with the weird tuning of the guitar? I can't remember or not.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I tuned my guitar like that one time, and it was crazy. And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh yeah. That was fucking crazy pants, dude. Fucking what a crazy. I mean, Oliver Stone, given all of his racism, I mean, he still knows how to put together a soundtrack.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is I am maybe too good at separating the artist from the person. Because even me, I'll like go in and I'll fucking listen to like.
Well,
Charles
I
Manson.
mean, and to be well, okay. Well, okay.
His music
to
has
be,
a different meaning when you like listen to it when you know who he is.
Yeah. So that being said, I do, it's hard. It's hard, dude, because I mean, look at fucking John Lennon. He's a fucking wife beater, right?
Yeah.
But he produced. So how do you separate that? I mean, the true story is that the greatest artists of our time are fuckholes, right? So, I mean, that's just a fact. Man, it's crazy to think about that in those terms where it's just like, man, what a fucking dickwad. It's like, I mean, are you feeling what I'm laying down here?
Yeah, I like music by assholes sometimes. They just make better music because they're honest in like a way that like
Well, and again, I feel like Morrison is a fucking a good example of this of this point, of this talking point, right? Like, what a fucking cunt, right? But he fucking blurred the lines, dude, between fucking art and realism and like dude was fucking like way over where all of us should have been, and I don't, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I think it's hard to genuinely like explore darker concepts in your music and art without having those darker thoughts. And I think it comes out in like Sid Barrett and like a lot of these more
Sid
fucked up
Barrett,
artists.
yes. Dude, do you ever hear the Sid Barrett where he made fun of fucking Dylan?
No, I haven't.
Got the Bob Dylan blues and the Bob Dylan shoes. No, are you serious? Oh, dude. Oh my God. Look up the Bob Dylan blues by Sid Barrett. It's
I'm
fucking brilliant. It's
gonna put that in
brilliant.
my notes. I think at that point everyone was making fun of Bob Dylan.
Yeah, probably. Dude, I went to see Bob Dylan one time. My buddy, my former editor, she's like, dude, Bob Dylan's coming. Like, you need to write an article about him. And I'm like, dude, the only thing I'm gonna write about him is how much he sucks. And she's like, that's fine. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, so I went, and he did. He sucked so bad, dude. It was like, it was like that whole fucking shit during the entire fucking performance. And it's just like, yep, dude sucks. Like, sorry. And I'm like, dude, are you serious that you want to run my fucking article? Like, I lambasted fucking Bob Dylan. Are you serious? And she's like, yes. I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah, I think being from that long ago is not an excuse to like make shitty music today. Because I think
No, you're just fucking cash grabbing, you cunt. Fuck.
I'm gonna be so annoyed I can't remember his name now. Scott Walker. Today he still makes like really relevant music, even though it's weird and fucking abstract. It's better.
Right,
It's
right.
better than most people from the '60s today making albums. Like I would much
sure.
rather listen to like Scott Walker's weird album today than whatever Paul McCartney is making right now. I don't know why. I just love going through like when musicians are mad at each other, like listening to like Steely Dan put out a song about how much they hate John Lennon or John Lennon putting out
Yeah.
songs about Paul McCartney. I love like diving into those.
Yeah. It's a, and again, I'm not into that realm where people, creative types, sour other people. Right. So, um, I don't believe that that's a productive use of humanism, right?
Yeah.
So, I wish that were more so trying to prop people up.
Yeah, that's
Because that's
hard to find nowadays.
it really is. That's really what I try to do. And again, if we're circling back to the premise of this conversation, wherein, hey, uh, Jeff, writer, what can I do? Well, A, don't do this, but also, um, uh, uh, please reach out to other writers. Please reach out to other writers and coordinate with them. And um, uh, it's a rough world out there, and so the best advice that I have is just please work with other people who are also creatives, and you'll create fucking crazy fucking shit. I mean, again, I was a writer
Yep.
that eventually I ended up on a fucking YouTube channel. Like it's how it goes. So um if you're looking to do a creative thing, just do the creative and worry about the money later, because that's when it comes.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on like as the role of like the creative process of like because people I worked with, they kind of saw it as like shaving off your edges when you work with like 5 people to kind of meet and make something better than all of you could create. But then also like I work specifically with a creator.
Agree with that at all. I believe that multiple people's intelligences can create a better thing than if I'm just fucking directing. Like, I'm not the smartest person in the. I fancy myself the smartest person in the room all the time. Like I am in most instances. Fuck you. Like I'm, dude. You are dumb. Like I honestly feel that all the time. But dude, there is no replacing my intelligence without with if you have 5 people who are smart in a room, that's better than one person who is smart in a room.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how much more simple I can make that explanation. It's and that's what I tried to bring to the modern rogue shit was dude, I'm not like I'm probably the most ill-equipped person in this job, but help me, like dude, like you guys have fucking ideas, and let me know what they are, because they're probably better than mine. And so it's weird. It's weird to me that it's a weird concept that people are like, well, we need one captain. No, fuck you. You don't. You don't. You need multiple captains. You need multiple captains because many intelligences are better than one intelligence. Like that seems it seems stupid fucking it seems stupid obvious to fucking say it, but like but seriously, like I'm sorry, Flex. I don't think that you're smarter than I am, or I am smarter than you am. But I think that if I got me here, that both of us together would be smarter than you are, right?
Yeah.
Like that. Like that's just science.
I say smarter, probably more knowledgeable. Depends on the subject.
Again, and so you created a very good point. It depends on the subject and what we're talking about. And I mean, dude, dude, I'm not gonna be a fucking sports analyst for you guys,
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't know shit. I don't know dick about sports. Fuck sports. That's not my fucking realm. But I can do a little bit of journalism. I can do a little bit of research. I can do this. I can do that, and I can and at the same time, we will collaborate, and we will, uh, uh, we'll give something to the people that they want, because our intelligence collectively is better than collectively or than our intelligence individually.
Yeah. Right now, my problem, I feel what you're saying. And right now, like I'm feeling that. Like I am working in um public health, like on a marketing side, and I'm just like, all right, I need you doctors to take these big concepts and like help me explain it to the general masses. And it's just so hard for them to like dumb it down. I'm like, you have to understand, like these people don't have PhDs. And I don't understand what you're saying when you say these things. Why am I making like social media post for them if like the general public doesn't understand these very super deep PhD concepts? And I'm just like, who are we making this for? We're wasting people's time when we're not like, I don't know how to get them to like dumb it down. That's my problem. It's like, I don't want to dive into that. I don't think we have a lot of time. It's been going on 3 hours
3
now.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's fine. It's fine. Well, no. And so to answer the question that you're asking is they don't know what they don't know. That's literally the thing. It's people reach out to people like you because they don't know what they're doing, right? So they're like, I feel like we need to do this thing and we don't know what the fuck. So help us. And so that's where definitely you can roll in and
Yeah. It's
right.
it's a
So
weird spot for me to be in because I know they're all PhDs and I know I'm the dumbest person in the room and I'm just like, all right, but Like help me make
I would
this.
question that you're the dumbest person in the room, but go on.
My knowledge is very like marketing specific, and that's about it. But so I need to take these like big concepts that they're talking about. I'm like, all right, let's talk about HIV, and they're just like diving into like super deep details and like numbers. And I'm just like, these are really hard concepts for me to wrap my head around. I need you to explain it to me. Like often I do need them to like help me understand it, so I can then I'll be like, all right, let me dumb it down. But then I dumb it down, and they're just like, no, you're dumbing it down too much. Then like, what is my post supposed to say? What are we saying to the people? Like it needs to be easily digestible. I don't think they understand social media like that. They want to be like, I want you to make a social media post with 500 facts. You can't really see the headline. There is no headline, just a bunch of facts. And I'm just like, all right, well, nobody's going to see that.
Well, and that is the whole thing too. And so if we go back, what does it mean to be a writer, right? So a lot of what I do to pay the bills nowadays is exactly what you said. It's hey, I need a fucking post about this or that or the other thing, and I have to adapt to their fucking voice. And so that's the one thing that aspiring writers really have a hard time with. It's like, no, it's not your voice. It's not your voice. It is definitely not your voice. You have to adapt to the voice of the fucking shit that you're writing for, right? So, and that's a hard thing. That's a hard motherfucking thing to do.
Yeah,
It requires practice, dude. It really does.
yeah. It's I feel like I've not mastered it yet, but because I do have to take heavy concepts and then communicate it down. Because one of the fights we had like a couple years ago was like mask. I'm like, all right, so you can't like so we looked at studies and we found like mask doesn't improve your chances of not getting COVID, but we still want people to mask because it could. And I'm like, how do you want me to even word that? And they're like, here's a 500-page study, put that in social media form. And I'm just like, okay, no, but like, how like it was a struggle for me to figure out like how to word this in a way of like mask up, but also they don't work, so get the vaccine, but you should still mask up anyway. So it was a hard for me to like figure that out and to work with the
Oh
doctors.
my
and
god,
get
you
that
understand
word.
what it is to be a writer. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's these issues that
yeah.
I deal with because again, like they're all doctors, they're all smarter than me, and I trust them, and I'm like, all right. Sometimes I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna do whatever you want. I feel like fighting.
And that is the fuckery of it all. It's you have to write for who you're writing for. So that's it's that's it. That's it. That's a fucking full stop right there. Like you just have to write for the people that you're writing for. You have to get their tone. You have to get their voice. You have to subscribe to whatever style shit that they got. Maybe they got AP. Maybe they got Chicago. You're doing this and that and the other thing, and it's. I mean, dude, you're writing for a fucking outlet. You're not writing for yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to write for yourself, do a fucking blog. Fuck off. But man, if you're writing for another fucking outlet, you got to do their fucking shit.
Yeah, my thing is
right?
I do want to break down because again, and this is where and I thankfully I do have like the CEO who's on my side. He's like, these concepts are way too verbose for like we're public health. We speak to like millions of like normal people. We're not speaking to doctors, and I have doctors telling me what to say, and it's just like, I mean, thankfully the CEO like gives me a lot of leeway and be like, all right, well, you know, he is right. Like, dumb it down. Like, it's way too complex for like the normal guy, doing whatever normal guy things are. I don't know what fucking normal guy things are.
I don't know, football,
Football, like
watching stuff.
football coach guy over here, and we're trying to explain like scientific studies to him in a way that he can understand, and it's just like it's a balance of being really informative, but then I also need people to genuinely understand the concepts explained. And it's not an easy mark for me to hit sometimes. Sometimes I just give up and I'm like, all right, I'll just do what you tell me to do. But sometimes I'm just like, it's way too complex. Like this is just a big. You're just telling me to print a big spreadsheet. Basically, you're giving me a spreadsheet, and you're supposed to. I'm like,
Dude,
can I-
you're preaching to the fucking choir, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I did a fucking dude, I worked for a 12-hour day, I think, at some point, working on boner pill shit for fucking like a startup boner pill company. Like I did a fucking like I seriously worked a 12-hour day working on a fucking boner pill ad. Like that's that's how I was like, I don't am I really doing this right now? Like am I like what the yes because they're paying me $1,200, so okay, great, let's go. Right,
Hard to
right?
argue against
So,
that.
like I don't give a fuck if this shit even works. I'm fucking working. Right. I'll fucking move the camera, I'll fucking do the fucking audio, I'll fucking do all the shit. Like come on.
Yeah. Boner pills are the way to go.
All right, we're at 3 hours. This is going to be the most hellishest VOD. I'll have to edit. I want to wrap this up because
Yeah.
I
gonna
wish
say,
I
we're
was
gonna have to
recording this. I hope somebody else is recording this. Fuck.
yeah, I've
Please.
recorded this, so I'm gonna have to edit.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to
All
go
right,
through
all
3 hours right now. This is gonna be on my editing side.
You could just ship it all off to Thunder.
I could ship it all off to Thunder, but I don't want to overwhelm them. This is a big VOD. This is
Yeah,
gonna be a
that's a
big edit.
lot.
Ship it off to me and let me see what I can do with it.
I could, yeah.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna hit stop recording. Any final words?
Don't be a writer.
Bet.
Don't be a writer.
Don't do
be
it?
a
Fair
writer.
enough.
Like, don't do it. Don't do it. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's
Yeah.
stupid.
If you want to be a writer, here's what you do. You go
Don't.
to medical school. You become a doctor.
And then you drink. And then
then-
you drink.
yeah.
And then you drink more. And then
You drop out.
hate
of medical
yourself.
school.
Hate yourself more. And then drop out of medical school. Correct. And then drink more and hate yourself more. And then just rinse and repeat. And then eventually you'll Vonnegut.
That's the process.
I mean, I mean, dude was like, you know what? I really like a whiskey at the end of the day. I'm like, oh, you know what?
It's tough to argue with.
I mean, yeah.
I've lost all my alcohol. I drink
All
it
right.
all, one of the two.
All right, guys. Well, hey, this has been fun.
Indeed. Thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
for sure. Love you guys.
do.
Yeah, it's been
All
a
right.
good conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.